Hello, I am Eric Ozempa, the Executive Director of the Longmont Community Foundation, and today I'm going to show you our new grants portal. This is where you're going to apply for all of our grants, as well as the Live and Give Longmont grant, which is the one that is due in January. Reasons why we did this is because it integrates seamlessly into our database system, making it easier for us to process grants and get the monies out to you even more efficiently than normally. Secondly, you can complete this application on a tablet or a iPad device or something like that, which our previous system, you couldn't really do that very well. You could even probably complete it on a phone if you wanted to do that as well. And then last, some of you may recall that every time you had to complete an application, you had to punch in your organization information, phone number, all that stuff. This pretty much will mean that you put it in once and then you just have a login for the organization each time. There is a way for you to have other people work on your application, but I'll get to that in just a bit. But generally speaking, we want one organization, one contact per organization, so it doesn't really kind of mess up with the system. When you get to the login address, I'll pass this out, or perhaps it'll even be in the notes of this video. This web address, you're also going to see that it's asking for an email address and password. Most everyone will have to create a new account. So you're going to click on this little button here. And obviously, many of you are used to forms. So you're going to see the asterisks indicating that it is a required field that you'll need to fill out. If you don't know your EIN number, or perhaps you're one of those organizations that is perhaps a city program, or it might be affiliated with a church, you can also just enter a dummy EIN number in this field, and we will do some other vetting, but don't worry about that too much. And if you have any questions, just certainly shoot an email at eric@longmontfoundation.org or give us a call over at 303-678-6555. You will also notice too on the bottom, once you click next, you're going to go to the next tab, which will say user information. It will ask you the main contact of the organization. It might ask you a little bit more information, like what's that person's mobile number, what's that person's phone number. They're not required, but you can certainly fill out that information if you like. And then finally, you're going to fill out or complete a password. Once you do complete a password, you're going to get an email message to your email that will say, hey, you verified this. You're going to click on a link and you can log in using your password plus the link that's provided, which is essentially the link that's up top. So once you click on that link, once you get that email, or you go back to this web address, you did want to enter your email address and your password, click on the login, and you're going to see a screen that looks just like this. And we're going to list the opportunities depending on what cycle we're in or what other opportunities are out there. Essentially, it's going to show you the Live and Give Longmont that's available right now. You're also going to see this preview button where you can preview the entire application. It will show you all of the things that are required, all of the questions, and then this other tab that says Send to Grant Hub. Grant Hub is actually a system where you can track the grants that you want to apply to. It's kind of a exterior system. It really has nothing to do with applying for the Live and Give Longmont grant or any of our other grants, but it's certainly a system you could check into if that's something you are interested in. And there's actually a little information box about Grant Hub itself that you can look at, and it will pop up and tell you a little bit more about Grant Hub as well. At the top, you're going to see a home button that will show you the home screen, and we'll click on there right now. And this shows you, I created this dummy account. This is essentially what you will see for all of the organizations that are applying. You're going to see the applicant name on the left-hand side. You're also going to see the organization's name and the contact email history and historical requests. What's really cool about the system too is we're going to be able to show you all of the requests that you've received over time. You're going to be able to log in here. You're going to be able to see other grant requests that came to you too as well as a result of this. Even the ones that were through donor advised funds, the ones that are even through grant processes, you'll be able to see here as well. If you click on the public profile, you'll be able to see your GuideStar profile and how you're reflected publicly. So I'd encourage you to check that out too as well. Again, has no bearing on receiving a grant. So I want to be clear on there, but it just gives you an idea of what's out there as far as your public profile and GuideStar. And then the apply button here at the top. Fax to file is, if you want to use this tool, it's really a fax system instead of a scanning system. Most people have a scanner so they can transfer it to an email, but this fax to file is another way that you can actually send a fax. It will send you a digitized copy that you can use as an application attachment. So we click on the apply, we go back to where we were. And if we clicked on apply, we just go right to the application, but I'm just gonna, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to show you the questions that we're asking for the Live and Give Longmont Fund. At the top, there's some brief instructions. You also can't stress this enough. Make sure you're saving your information as you go along. You can cut and paste in this one a lot easier than you could in the previous one, which is awesome. So the things you will need to complete this short application, you will need a YouTube or video link or a video that you're ready to share on ShareFile. You'll need a board list. You'll need your most recent year-to-date or year-end statement of financial position, your balance sheet, or your most recent year-to-date or year-end statement of activities and income statement. And the reason why we say most recent or year-end is the fact that this is due in January, and if you are ambitious enough and you've closed all of your books, you certainly can turn in your end of year statement when that application is due. If you'd like to hedge a bit and give us your most current, so you're on a calendar year, maybe you want to give December financials, or maybe you want to give, maybe you want to give November financials or October financials, depending on when or how quickly you're able to close out your month. Those who are on the July through June fiscal year, this obviously would be a most recent year to date. So because they close out obviously in June. So with the questions that we have, so we have the narrative section. We will also have the financials, the organization survey, and the board section. So within each of these, you can collapse each of these and go to each section independently. Within the narrative section, just to briefly tell you what's here as far as the questions, we've actually reduced again some of the attachments that you'll need to provide, but there's a couple of other things that we've added to the application. The first one is that we want you to tell us the purpose of your nonprofit, and we've limited you to 125 words or less. And then a new question that we have is a diversity, equity, inclusiveness, DEI question, which is, why is DEI important to your mission or purpose? And you can use 250 words to expound on that. Here's your request amount. How much money would you like to get from the Live and Give Fund? We have $100,000 approximately to distribute from this fund. So if you could put in your request amount here. The statement of request is a short statement that really helps us identify and succinctly understand what you're seeking monies for. I can't stress this enough. We do provide general operating funding, so we'd encourage people to always apply for general operating. But there's a way that we want you to put it in here, is that we want to say we're seeking $1,500 for general operating support to be used for services or whatever specifically that you want to talk about regarding your organization. So it could be broadly mentioned that to be used to support meals for seniors, or it could be broadly mentioned in that fashion, or it could be specific to maybe a project. But again, want to encourage you, always go with general operating. At least that's my opinion. Your request, what will you accomplish with funding? 180 words or less. The evaluation, how do you evaluate your programs and how frequently do you evaluate? And then the outcomes, if you just want to bullet some outcomes with your program results or within the organization. And then we ask you what challenges your organization is facing. Obviously, we've had a lot of challenges in 2020, but if you could just illuminate that a little bit more and tell us how you're adjusting to meet the challenges, we'd appreciate it. You'll notice too that we weave in the attachments as you go along, so there isn't just one attachment page at the end. And the reason why we do this is because we have lined this up. The evaluation is going to line up really well with the evaluation that the grant reviewers are going to do. And in fact, they're going to be able to see the side by side the application plus the evaluation. And that's kind of why we did this. The video is required, and we just ask that you either upload it to a YouTube and give us the link. This is definitely the best way to do this. It's not wrong if you have to upload a file. That's not a problem at all, but it'd be great if you do have a YouTube link, and we can certainly put it in here. The one thing I wanted to mention about a video is if you could do something that's short, brief. You could talk maybe about the organization and perhaps some of the things that are currently happening right now or that you are seeking monies for. That would be awesome. I would say that the committee generally appreciates organic videos that are kind of really talk about the organization and its mission. We don't want you to go at any cost and creating a video that is a marketing piece. We want you to really just pick up a smartphone or a tablet and tell us a little bit more about your organization. Or highlight some clients' features. We want you to, feel free to be as creative as you like. But again, we don't want you to go to any cost to produce this. If you cannot do a YouTube link, we'd ask you that you upload your video at ShareFile. We've got a dedicated ShareFile account that we would upload the videos to. This will open another tab, so you don't have to worry about losing your work. But as a precaution, I would always save your work before you click on that tab and want to upload that file. For the financial section, we have some radio button questions. So what is your organization's accounting year? Is it January through December, July through June, or October through September? What's your organization's annual budget? And then here's where you can upload your statement of financial position. And also you can upload your statement of activities, so your income statement. If you have any sort of extenuating circumstances or anything you want to mention related to your finances, you certainly can use this optional box to elaborate more on your financials or financial position. Then we have a new section, which is just some very easy multiple choice questions. It's what we call the survey section. So some of these questions will be familiar, but we've wrapped this into the survey section. Number of years the nonprofit's in operation, number of all clients served, number of St. Vrain clients, and we give you some options, full-time employees, volunteers utilized by your nonprofit. All of those are fairly straightforward, very easy to answer. And then last, your board. We just asked for your number of board members. Again, we're using options here. Percentage of board that contributes financially to the organization. We're asking if the director or administrator of the organization is a voting member of the board. And then plus we're asking if your board has term limits. Then we want you to upload your board list, and that's really it. Pretty simple. We try to make it as simple as possible. Like I said, we did add a few things. We did make some of these questions easier, at least in my opinion. So it really shouldn't take you much longer than, I'd say, less than an hour. And if you're really good and you got a lot of this information already, probably should take you a lot less than that. So again, if you disagree with me, certainly give me a shout and tell me that you have concerns about it as well. Again, Eric at longmontfoundation.org or 303-678-6555. But it should be very easy to submit that application. Once you submit it, you will receive notification that we received your application. And another change for the reviews will be that we will have 2 people. Normally, we would have 1 person who would actually reach out and do a site visit. Given the fact that we are in a pandemic situation, we will be having probably virtual site visits. And there will be 2 individuals that will be following up with you about reaching out to the organization, just asking some additional questions and learning a little bit more about your organization. Again, if you have any questions, certainly reach out to the foundation. We are ever so grateful for everything you do. So please reach out to us if you have any questions whatsoever. We're happy to help. Thank you very much, and thanks for tuning in.